Hey guys, let's take a look if we should go for the two-handed staff from Twins in Throne of Thunder or the one-hand sword plus the offhand from Lai Shen. Now in general, a one-hander and offhand has always been better than two-handers throughout WoW history, but the difference has become less than ever. Now the main concern about one-hander and offhand is the fact that we will have crit on it, which has become a terrible stats for our specs. Especially Affliction, the stat is close to half the value of haste. Now what are the difference of the stats on the items? Note all these values of a 2-2 Heroic Thunderforge upgraded items considered best in slot. First we can see that comparing the total stats gained by staff versus the one-hand and offhand is mainly based around losing intellect. We lose a good 197 intellect by going staff, while we switch 703 worth of haste and mastery for 769 crit. Now since crit has such a horrible value for the specs, one could wonder if the crit might be so low value that it would be worth it to go for the staff to gain mastery and haste. But here's the problem. By plugging in some scale factor values, which you can gain from Simcraft basing how much DPS you gain per stat, we can see that for each spec the one-hander and offhander brings more value for its total stats. Affliction is the only one without reforging the offhand that staff is better, because haste has so high value for my character due to the fact I'm in heavy mastery setup right now. But as soon as we reforge the crit to mastery, we can see there's no spec the staff would be better. The values of haste and mastery would have to be extremely high against the value of crit for it to ever shift. So since we can reforge most of the crit to mastery on the offhand, and the fact that we gain more intellect simply just makes it better on less extreme cases of haste and mastery scale values. Now don't overthink this because it's minimal difference. If you notice here, if we unenchant our offhand with 165 intellect, the staff becomes better for everything except destruction. The intellect alone from the offhand enchant is basically why it brings the one-hand and offhand above the staff. Do note that scale factors I used is based around my gear, and you can shift these values up and down, and only until haste and mastery would become really far above crit would the staff be better. So what we can conclude from this is that if we get the one-hand and offhand Thunderforged and double upgraded, it's slightly better than the staff. But if you only have the offhand heroic non-Thunderforged, the staff is better. So since the staff is the easiest item to coin and get Thunderforged and only cost us 2 upgrades, the staff is a good solution until you can get your hands on the one-hand and offhand heroic Thunderforged.